Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ripple Effect podcast. We are so glad that you have joined us on this dreary Tuesday afternoon. It is a good day to snuggle up with a book and just stay home. But here we are in our studio. Why are we here? In the studio, Brian Sevitz is on my right and Mary Green is on my left. And we are glad to be here with you, with the OGs, really. Mm-hmm. This is the original group. This week, we didn't have a whole lot.
OG doesn't stand for original group.
I think that's what it does. I'm pretty sure.
It's original gangster.
I know.
I learned this at...
Did you just learn this?
I know I'm behind. Sorry.
You guys are the original gangster here at Timberlake Christian Church. Anyway, we didn't have a whole lot going on this week, so you get us, and we hope that is enough. Before we get into what you need to know coming up this week and the spotlight of the week, I've got big news. Are you ready for it? I don't know if you're ready for it. We actually have a real sponsor for this episode.
Yeah. Like somebody we didn't make up.
This is not pretend. This is not fake. This is not Daniel joking around and messing with you like my kids think I do all the time, because I do. We have a real sponsor this week, and the sponsor of the week is Ausley's Monument Company. You're not even going to be able to see that. That's okay. But Ausley Monument Company helps you with picking out monuments for your loved ones that have passed on. They help you with everything from picking out the stone to designing it to installing it, and they're there with you every step of the way. The reason that we have this is we had a couple in our congregation, Bob and Vicki Mallory, who are a couple in good standing in this congregation, and they came to me and they said they wanted to help out with the podcast, and I said, that's great, what can we do and how's this going to work? And we didn't really know. But he said this is a good way that we could do it and highlight a company that some of you may have gone through this process of picking out a headstone or a monument for a loved one, and it can be a headache sometimes. And who do you trust and who do you go to? So we just wanted to put this out there. We actually have a real sponsor, and this is not something we plan on doing a lot of, but we're grateful for Bob and Vicki. And if that's something that you're needing, Audsley Monument Company is a place that you can go. Their phone number is 660-651-8192, and they're a company that you can check out. So there you go, sponsor of the week. My goodness. Next week will be Twinkies. So hostess with the mostess. We're glad that you've joined us here today, whether you're listening or watching this, and we hope that your week is going well. Before we get into some extra stuff, let's recap Sunday. It was a busy Sunday, but it was a lot of fun. We had the VBS recap Sunday. Mary, how are you doing after VBS? Are you all right?
I'm taking a few days off at the end of the week, and that will help. It's not just VBS week. This is kind of like the end of months of back-to-back-to-back stuff for me. So it's kind of a cumulative drain on the old resources.
You've got on the old resources?
What's
the old resource?
I feel older every year. By the time June kicks off and camp is over and VBS is over,
because you got May build up to Summer Blast, right? Or does it start? That starts.
Yeah, but I also have all of camp
happening. Yeah. Build up, and then all that goes June. Then you got VBS, and then you've got Crash for a few days.
Yeah.
It was a fun Sunday. Brian, how was your Sunday?
I thought it was great. During VBS, I got to be in the booth and did more with lights and stuff. I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but I have fun clicking buttons that we don't always push on Sunday.
Yeah. I noticed the LEDs were definitely going different patterns and stuff.
Because we had kids in there.
Yeah.
And I think anything like that helps hold kids' attention, and VBS is an exciting day anyway. But I also use weeks like that to try new things while I get to be in the booth, so it's kind of neat.
So is that why the power went out on Sunday? You tried something different. We don't know what's going on with that.
It had to just be Ameren, because our intern Aaron said their power was out until like 2. So anyway.
So it happened during VBS. Power went out, you said twice, and then it happened again on Sunday. But our security guys were great because Tony, some of the guys run in and they put the flashlights on real fast, and so I was really grateful for that. And I was waiting for you to bust out a cappella as well.
Yeah, we were just about to that point.
I was waiting for
and I was like, okay, which of these songs
can
we pull off a cappella?
I was wondering if you were going to go completely like just do a hymn or like an Amazing Grace, or if you were going to try a song. I was waiting for it.
Because the piano was the Rover. You know, so
you didn't even have the acoustic.
The real piano was still a mountain.
Yeah.
I actually, in my head, I thought, where's the closest acoustic guitar?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it actually made me think about, we're so used to electricity and we're so used to microphones and things like that. What would it be like if all that just goes away and you have a service completely like without all the bells and whistles? It would be kind of interesting.
Well, when we had all the outdoor stuff, of course we still had amplifiers and microphones and everything, but that was a refreshing time for me because I like technology. I like using it and doing new things, but it was a nice break from not having to program slides and lighting and all that kind of stuff. And like I've told that to many people. I'm like, I'm not saying I want to get rid of it because I don't. I like using all those tools, but there are times that a lot of times we use the phrase like strip away all of these bells and whistles as you put them, because they are just tools. And if we ever get where like that becomes the main thing, it's not good. And that's why it was refreshing for me as a worship leader, is like we kind of came back to here's what the heart of this is. All these people during COVID really want to be here, and they don't really care about all that. They just, at that point, like looking through the window at their church family and being able to be together. So
I thought someone had timed it perfectly, because I have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure I said something about darkness, and then whoosh, all the lights went off, and I was like, wow, someone's really on the special effects. But I'm grateful for the guys that came in to help us. I'm grateful for the congregation, and they didn't flip out and figured, hey, something was going on. But we were talking about light, interestingly enough, and how Jesus is the light of the world, and what that looks like for us to shine his light. And so if you missed that service, you get to see the kids dancing on the stage. Tina did a great job leading them, Tina DeFreitas, and it was a great celebration of VBS and what that means to us and to this congregation. So if you missed that service, go to tlcc.church. You can catch up on the service there, and it was a fun Sunday. I thought it was a really fun Sunday. Okay, let's get to the TLCC top 3 of the week, things that you need to know that are coming up. We just finished kind of a big swing of events, and so it's kind of one of more of the lower points of the schedule, which is fine, because you need those.
That's good too.
Brian, share with us a couple things coming up on TLCC top 3.
Yeah, I was thinking about this week, and you were saying this last week. This is not a break time from Mary and a lot of people around here at all. It is a little bit of a downtime for me. There's a couple of days that I've gone home early, and that's good because it won't be long, and we'll be getting into recruiting.
Fall ramps up for you and I.
All that stuff. So I have enjoyed a little bit of a time where we're like, we're able to put out our announcements of things that are like a month away, because we don't have a lot right now, and that's good. We do have Community Kitchen Saturday. Dawn said the cooking and all that's pretty much taken care of. You can always show up. I mean, there's always room to jump in and do something there. But the main thing is at 10:30 the doors open, and if you could be there, if you have nothing going on Saturday, you can show up and be a greeter and sit at a table. There's one time we had a ton of people. This was, I think, last fall, and I was able to just show up, and I just sat at a table most of the morning and talked to some people that they didn't have their group. A lot of the people that are at Community Kitchen have their family or their group that they always talk to. There's always a few that show up that don't have really anybody to talk to, and that's a great ministry you can be a part of. I have sat there and played the piano, played a few songs before. If you're a musician, they love that. But just stand at the door and shake hands is fine too, and that's at 10:30. And then that goes all the way up through round 1 is when they clean up, and they always have to vacuum and all that. So there are things to do. So that's the first thing. Community kitchen this coming Saturday, 10:30. Choir is this coming Sunday. I've been trying to have a choir every month or two. It's not real structured how often I do it, but it's been about 6 weeks, and so we scheduled one for the 22nd. That's this coming Sunday, and practice is Thursday, so a couple days away at 5:30. If you like to sing, come join us for that, and it would be great if you'd comment on this podcast or shoot us an email or something. You don't have to, but it helps us have enough music printed if you'll do that, and enough risers set up. If you are someone, because this always comes up, if you cannot stand on risers, don't let it keep you away. You may sit in a chair, you may sit on a metal stool.
We will work with you.
Yeah, we'll find a place for you. The third one, we're going to do something we're calling BBQmunity. It's one of the ideas that came out of my sabbatical, so it's not our brainchild there. But BBQmunity is like a church cookout. We're going to be having August 13th. So again, it's about a month away. We're going to start at 6 p.m. with the meal, so you can show up a little before that. We're asking you to bring sides or a dessert. We're going to provide hot dogs, so you're welcome to bring sides or a dessert, and we encourage you to do that because the church is only providing hot dogs. I assume we'll have some drinks out there too. But competition, you want to talk about that?
I do. I love competition, and if any of you know me, I just think it brings out the best in us. Sometimes the worst too, but I think it brings out the best, and it's a lot of fun. So we had this idea, if we're calling it BBQmunity, to have a barbecue contest. And so I'm going to put the challenge out there to all of you individuals who love to make barbecue, whether you smoke meat or whether you have a special recipe. Come up with your best barbecue that you have, and we're going to have some judges there who will judge the barbecue that comes in, and then there's going to be a grand prize that is awarded. So we're putting this challenge out there to all of you people who love to barbecue. You don't have to bring something that's big enough to feed everybody.
Yeah.
Just bring whatever amount you want to, but do it your way, make it the best you can, and join this contest. We're going to see who makes the best barbecue meat in this congregation, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't make barbecue.
I'm excited about it. I might try to make something. Your dish has to include a barbecued meat of some kind.
Some kind.
It doesn't have to be just meat, but it has to incorporate some kind of barbecued meat.
Yeah, I can grill a hot dog. I have been known to make a burger or a steak every once in a while, but I'm not like a grill master in the slightest sense.
But you like to eat it.
So maybe that's what this competition's all about. It's like, would you guys help me out here? So anybody, if you are interested and that's something that you do, we're going to have this contest, and I hope it is filled with lots of people and lots of smack talk, and it's going to be fun, and there's going to be a prize for the winner. So that will happen, and that's August 13th.
And you're bringing it already cooked. This isn't one of those competitions where you drag in your smoker and do it at the church.
No.
Because it's blind.
No.
It's going to be a blind
Gordon Ramsay's not going to be there yelling at you. You got an hour left with your food. Bring it done, and it'll be in the evening, so you'll have plenty of time to do this. Anyway, so there's the challenge. It's been issued.
Having games.
Yeah, so after the meal, maybe sometime right after the meal, we're going to have some games out. So some yard games. We're going to set up some pickleball courts and just enjoy fellowship as a family, or as a BBQmunity, as you could say. So there you go, the TLCC top 3. If you would like to participate in the community kitchen, that is happening this Saturday. If you would like to join the choir, that's happening on Sunday, and practice is on Thursday. And then on August 13th, we'd love for you to just come and enjoy fellowship as a church family. Let's share a meal together. And if you love some competition, join this competition where we're throwing down the barbecue gauntlet, and you make your best barbecue, and then we'll judge it. I'm not going to be a judge. We're going to find, I have a couple people in mind. We're going to find people that have a more refined palate than myself, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So there you go, TLCC top 3 of the week. All right, so for the spotlight of the week, we didn't have anybody coming in. Like I said, it's a down week. So I just have some questions for Brian and Mary, and then we're going to finish the podcast.
This always worries me.
Yeah.
I never tell them anything. I actually did give Brian just a little bit heads up. Brian, what, I'm going to ask him first so you can be thinking about it. What's in ministry right now, this is a downtime a little bit. What's just the thing that's been on your mind, on your heart when it comes to your areas of ministry that you think people should know about or just you can talk about?
He did give me a primer for this one. 2 things. One of them is, what is it? Oh, low battery.
Make it quick.
Okay, we'll go fast. One of them is we are remodeling backstage, so we hope to show that to you soon. We'll have a new podcast studio, a little area.
We'll have an actual studio.
A little area for the band to hang out. One of the hours we always come in and listen to the sermon, or usually I do if there's no technical difficulty around the church that I have to go take care of. But the other hour we kind of just fellowship with the team backstage, and it'll be a better area for that.
Yeah.
So we'll show that to you at some point. Well, and you'll see us doing the podcast there soon. The other thing is I've been thinking about plugging new people in. You may be on the podcast listening to us, watching us now, and you're a musician. I just messaged somebody yesterday that I know has been coming to the church for a while now. They play guitar. They've never gotten plugged in. Sometimes people see us up there and they see the same people and they assume there's some either really difficult process to get plugged in, or I think the bigger problem is we're not inviting enough, and I'm talking about myself, not anybody else, or we don't make the process clear enough about how to get you plugged in. And obviously, like, everybody can't be up on stage.
Right.
Like there's a bar set for quality or scale or whatever, and the fact is, like, we need to keep the group to a manageable size so that you have a good rotation of people, and that it's not 6 months in between when someone serves.
Yeah.
But I want you to know, if you're a newer person especially, or someone that has those skills and you've never gotten plugged in, talk to one of us, because we never want to get in a rut. And sometimes summer is a time where I think about those things, because the routine is broken a little bit, and there's extra time to think about either creativity or, okay, who am I noticing in this season that I don't notice the rest of the year quite as much?
Yeah.
That's good. Mary, what's something that you've been on your heart and your mind when it comes to ministry? I know you're kind of coming at the tail end of stuff, but just is there anything that's on your mind?
I think I get to this point in the summer and I'm just so grateful for a team. VBS takes a huge amount of work and volunteers to pull off, and Jesse and Macy did a fabulous job at that. But I'm so grateful that there is not the expectation that any one of us does all of this by ourselves, that there are committed volunteers who step up, whether it's subbing. I needed a sub for the Sunday before and after VBS, times when I'm already stretching those volunteers thin, and I had a volunteer who stepped up and said, sure, I know those are busy weeks, I'll take both of those weeks. Yeah. And I'm just so grateful that there's a whole team of people who are loving God and loving kids and working together. And sometimes they only do it during VBS because that's when they're free and it's a way to dip your toes in. And I have Todd and Mark that help in the summertime with elementary, and during other parts of the year they're busy doing other areas of ministry, but they set aside summers to be with the elementary kids, and the kids absolutely love them. So I'm just so grateful for the teams that we have, and just like Brian was saying, there's always room for more people on those teams. So if hanging out with kids is your jam and you love introducing them to Jesus, we'd love to put you on a team somewhere.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Mary for the blessing of the week. She's just so eager to be on this podcast, and sometimes hard to keep her away, but we asked her to share the blessing of the week, and so Mary, why don't you take us home here?
Well, this is kind of an odd thing to use as a blessing, but it was our memory verse from Summer Blast this past Sunday. And it was a very long verse. And grades 1 to 5 learn a memory verse every single week.
Is it the?
It is. So this Sunday we were talking about Samson. He was strong, and yet he was tempted. And so our memory verse was 1 Corinthians 10:13,
Okay.
which I'm going to read for you out of the New Living Translation.
Ooh.
But we memorized it in New American Standard because that's what I memorized it when I was in elementary school.
Okay.
So the NLT says, if you think you're standing strong, be careful not to fall. The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience, and God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out so that you can endure. And I love that reminder that He knows us well, that what we're going through is not unique to us, that people through the ages have been tempted by the same things, worry or independence or whatever. Everyone has been tempted, but God has promised a way of escape. It might be to run, it might be to pray, it might be to do who knows what, but He is with us, He is listening to us, and He will provide a way out so that we can trust Him and lean on Him and not be tempted to fall into Satan's traps. And I'm just so grateful that He knows us and He loves us and He has these ways out. And sometimes we have to look for Him. Sometimes it's just get out.
Right, run.
James says, get out, run away.
Yeah.
But I find that encouraging that he knows us so well and plans in advance so that we can be confident that we are not alone and we can endure.
Yeah. So there's your encouragement for the week. If you're going through something that makes you feel isolated or alone, or you're going through this thing, I can't face this by myself, you're not alone because God has already planned and has been there to help you with a way of escape. So He's gone before you, but also as a reminder, it's common to man that we've all gone through temptations, and that's part of the beauty of being a part of the body of Christ, is you're not alone. And while it doesn't make it easy necessarily, it is encouraging, and it's something that you're able to endure because God is on your side and because you have a family around you. So thank you, Mary. That's wonderful. My kids were working on their memorization, so they were doing the clicks the
Todd
whole time.
and I both memorized that verse with the rhythm. We talked about the fact that when you're putting God's word in your mind, sometimes a rhythm, a song, all those things can help us remember.
Yeah, I was kind of put to shame last night because my daughters were going through their memory work, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, if I did this, would I get it as quickly as they are doing this? And I was like, I turned to Mason, like, we got to work on our memory work. Because
I've been using note cards this year, to memorize some new scriptures. And it was so cute because I sat down this morning in the sunroom, and Dawson has that scripture written out on a little note
on cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's your blessing of the week. Thank you for joining us on this Ripple Effect podcast. And we hope and we pray, and our desire for you is that you would be reminded that God is with you, that He loves you. And as we continue to walk towards Him as a family, that you'd be encouraged that you're not alone. God bless you all. We are glad that you have joined us this week, and we'll see you next week.